today is the first time we've heard from head coach Brian Kelly since the news broke. ABC 57's Emily Pritchard is live outside Notre Dame Stadium and was at today's practice. Now, Emily, these 4 players weren't there, right?
Correct. I do have a copy, though, of the 2014 Fighting Irish roster. The 4 in question, they are on it. That's Tavares Daniel, Kavari Russell, Kendall Moore, and Ishak Williams. They are all still members of the team. They just cannot practice or compete with the Fighting Irish until this investigation is complete. Head coach Brian Kelly told me today that the 4 will likely not be in team meetings, but they can eat with their teammates and even spend time with them at the athletic complex. And the head coach shared with us that when he found out about this investigation, he was shocked and disappointed.
I'm a parent, and this is an extended family for me. So it hurt.
It's been just 2 days since head coach Brian Kelly says he learned he'd have holes to fill on this field. The players in question were brought into the investigation yesterday. Kelly said he doesn't have a lot of facts on the investigation, but he and his players lining Notre Dame Stadium are now regrouping.
There are no shortcuts in what we do. You can't win taking shortcuts. So our attention to detail is what we talk about all the time.
While his guys cut routes, Kelly stressed Saturday the reason he came to coach here is Notre Dame's core values, and there's no shortcut there.
Along the way, I've lost a starting quarterback and some key players. But I came here because I wanted to be associated with a university that had those standards.
In Kelly's 5 years at the university, he's had to police an array of issues, including players' arrest and Everett Golson's dismissal for cheating. Today, he told me now is just not the time to look back at how everything was handled.
This isn't the time to have a debate on what my, leadership or lack thereof is. My focus is on my football team and getting this team ready.
As everyone waits for a decision from university officials, the work on the field goes on as the countdown to Rice looms.
I expect our group to be, affected by it, but they'll be stronger too.
And as for the practice that happened on this field behind me today, Coach Kelly called it a good practice. He says this is a true example of his statement and motto that we all have heard before, the next man in. He said other players are just going to have to step up. And when it comes to this investigation, he wants to remind everyone this is still an ongoing investigation and that no one has been found guilty of anything. Reporting live from Notre Dame Stadium, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.
But we start with ABC 57's Emily Pritchard, who has the lowdown on what Coach Brian Kelly had to say ahead of Rice.
Head coach Brian Kelly started off his Tuesday here at Notre Dame Stadium with a couple hours of practice with his team. Then it was over to the athletic complex where he met with about 100 members of the media to preview the 2014 season. And he called this team a young one, saying that he has 17 fourth-year juniors and that they're all going to have to grow up pretty quickly with their tough schedule ahead. Change has possibly become the name of the game inside Notre Dame Stadium this preseason.
Key positions will be manned by familiar names, as well as names that will be stepping out of that tunnel for the first time.
And the newly installed 30-yard line could be serving as a reminder the season opener on August 30th is fast approaching. And for the head coach, the new turf is also helping the new crop adjust.
Just being familiar with the stadium. Heck, we didn't practice in there. And just getting our kids comfortable with the surroundings, the end zones, the sidelines.
But missing from this field and practice are 4 players due to an ongoing investigation of academic dishonesty. Kelly says he talked with the 4 individually over the weekend. He still has no clarity on when they could come back to their teammates practicing in the South Bend sun, but he is allowing them to eat and hang out at the athletic complex.
For me, while this is an ongoing investigation, I don't have a problem with them being around the team.
As they work to put the next man in, one thing stays the same, and that's the expectations at Notre Dame.
We don't have a conference championship to play for. So we only have one goal in mind, and that is to get in the playoffs.
As for the leaders of this 2014 team, we're going to have to wait to see who head coach Brian Kelly names as team captains. He said he will likely make that decision on Monday. Reporting from Notre Dame, Emily Pritchard, ABC 57 News.